Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hi,
How's
Tony.
everyone doing?
Very good.
It's good. Good to hear. So, hey,
I
everyone.
like I like to see the people participating, and then you see the name here. You know who they are. We got Crystal. She's studying in San Javier. That is Cambridge University. Hello. Okay. We got Mercy. We Endurance. We got Nigel, Felix, Mendoza. Who else? Tell me where you calling from. Crystal from Mumbai. We know Crystal is from Mumbai. Tony's in Canada. How cold is over there, Tony?
It's not too bad because I'm in Vancouver, so we're the warmest coastal climate that there is. But we did have snow on the ground for almost like a week, which was crazy here. There was a lot of complaining, but for the most part, it is quite beautiful here. So not too cold.
And what about that aircraft crash and everybody survived? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, out
Yeah.
east. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Eastern Canada's been under, I think, I can't believe how much snow they've had. It is just crazy. Yeah. That was pretty nuts though, right? Fortunate
Mhm.
that everybody was okay, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I also like
Yeah.
the irony of all of this, right? Because now we're talking about the airline analytics, and we have news just
Yeah.
about the
Good
airline.
segue. Good segue.
Yeah.
How do you say that causation is no? How do you say that? You know that the. Oh, I forgot. I will tell later if I remember
Okay.
the thing is that something about causation. I can't remember now.
It's gonna come back.
It will come back. Age.
Oh, nice. Got people from all over the place.
Suleiman. Oh yeah, this very very international. We got Renzi, we got Suleiman.
Malta. Nice. That's
I think
awesome.
it's one of the interesting parts about having all of these webinars and everything when you have a community from all over the globe, right? Everybody's connecting, just trying out different things. And the one thing that I've noticed as well is that people tend to kind of gravitate to very similar styles when they're from specific regions. I don't know how it happens. It just how it just naturally evolves. That's what I've seen as well from the challenges.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you take tendencies and try to take some ideas or techniques
Yeah.
from other people and incorporate it into your report. So that is good. We got Besen, we got Rigoberto, Sulai Vivas. Hi Sulai. Yeah, I think they are, how do you call them? The people that follow a band, Tony? They are the, how do you we call them? In a,
Groupies?
yeah, the groupies. They are the
Yeah,
groupies.
groupies. Yeah. I love that. That is so cool.
No, I talk. I sometimes talk to Sulai or other people in LinkedIn. We don't know each other. We don't know
Yeah.
each other. We know us because of the connection in LinkedIn. But when you talk to these people now, it's like they're friends. Like you know them forever.
Yeah.
And recently, I went to London to see Gustav Dudek and David and a couple of people. And David, that lives in the UK, in London, I knew him, but I didn't know Gustav.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
saw each other and we hugged like we haven't seen us for 3 months, like we met
Yep.
before. So
Yeah.
it is connection. Okay, it doesn't matter where you're a friend now, and more than anything. So that is fantastic.
I agree. I think
The
it's pretty incredible how interconnected we all are. It's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 It's so much different too for kids these days. Like my oldest has friends in like Australia and Spain. Never met them, although we were fortunate enough to meet one in Spain when we were there in the
Yeah.
summer, which was super cool. So to your point, had only ever met online, and then when we met them, we're just like, and I'm giving them a hug. I've never met this person in my life, but I'm like, you're my friend now. So
It's
But
been
it is
so
Okay.
long.
cool.
And
There you are.
Toni was in Spain recently. We could not go to see. I live in a different country, but she asked the people in the group, "Hey, what do I buy in the pharmacy for flu?"
That's right. I got sick.
And
Yeah.
have anybody replying to her instantly. This is what you need to ask for.
Yeah.
Okay, so it like if you are with us, if you are a part of a group, okay,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
wherever you are, I think I want to believe yeah, I'm in India and I have some problem and I put my something in LinkedIn. Most of the people I know, my connection from India, will come back and say, Federico, do this. Where are you?
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
going to pick you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
That is fantastic. I think
We'll
that
take
is
care of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry where you are, on
Yeah.
our way. So that is beautiful. I think.
And it
Absolutely.
worked
And
really good. Those drugs worked really good. So I appreciate the tip. I still have them and I use them. They're fantastic. I can't pronounce them, but I have them.
Yeah, as long as they work.
That's right.
Frenadol. I think it was Frenadol, but yes.
Yes. Yeah. Got me through it. So thank you.
All right. Well, welcome
Okay.
everyone. For those of you who have been here before, you already know the drill. You know what it's all going to be all about. But for those of you who are new here, so what today is all about is we're going to be going through the top 5 reports from this month's challenge. So this month we had airline delay analytics through different carriers, different airlines, different reasons why the delays were happening, and so forth. And we're going to be looking through those reports, and we're going to be giving our feedback on it. And the main idea about the feedback is, remember, guys, this is just our opinion, right? We gonna tell you about things we like. We gonna tell you about things maybe we dislike, or we think could have been done a little bit better. The main sort of criteria for this, or thing to remember or takeaway from this, is not everything that you hear here is essentially set in stone. Every single report needs to be adapted to your actual end users. There's going to be always opinions about your reports, there's going to be different inputs on it. You have to decide as a report developer which approach you're going to be taking, whilst taking the end user mainly into account, because they're going to be the actual users who are going to tell you, we need this or that. There's going to be a lot of opinions, but there's only going to be an actual user, just one specific group. So whatever you hear, take it into account. Do it or you don't do it. That's completely up to you. That's the main thing, right? But yeah, for those of you who are new here as well, and for those who have been here before, we actually have a guest judge as well, Toni. So, Toni, a few words about yourself. Also, introduce yourself to the crowd.
Hi, everyone. I'm Toni Hewlet. I am a data modernization consultant for a company here in Canada. Just kind of a fancy word for a Power BI developer, really, in my case. That's right. But I
We
like it
love
and
it.
I'm rolling with it. I love it. Yeah. And so I work with a lot of different clients. A big part of the process, kind of like to your point, is like understanding what the business needs are, and then extracting those and kind of putting that into practice, essentially. So just how I do that in my day to day. So I see different kind of opinions, even from the client perspective, on what they want and what I feel like they should want. So that's so to your point, right? It's what I think would look good and what they need is actually not what they need. So that interpretation of the client and of the requirements is a big part of that. So I think I love building reports at the end of the day, but a big part of my job is actually everything before getting to Power BI development.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah, that's me.
Well, there you go
And
then.
she is an ambassador
Oh,
in our
right, yeah,
group.
that's right. I always
I
forget about
can't
that part.
believe you
So
forgot. I can't believe you
it's
forgot.
fine. I didn't forget. It's just kind of part of
Terrible.
who I am. I am an ambassador for FP20. Yes, challenges. Sorry. Ugh, I always get myself there. Thank you. I know we've had guest judges on here, the MVP, and I'm just like, hi, I'm a consultant. But I am passionate about training, and I really love to educate people. Before times I wanted to be like a teacher, but life got in the way. So this is kind of my way to like being an ambassador, and also as part of my kind of job. Training is my favorite thing to do. So giving back and educating.
Oh, I agree
Yeah.
with that. it's so rewarding when actually you see the job being done and very well done, and you're like, ah, I hope that.
Yes, exactly, right? It is fun to help. Yeah. Or if people just reach out to you in LinkedIn and you try to provide a little bit of feedback. I wish I could do more, but at the end of the day, it does take a lot if people are reaching out to you all the time to give feedback for everybody. But
Yeah.
I try. Like I try.
I don't know, Tony, that people really know how much time we take to prepare everything,
Yeah.
prepare every month. We recently put a um, guided project, something like that, in our website.
Yeah.
Tony, the most of the job, it took Tony more than 20 or 30 hours to actually
Yeah.
put everything together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
Teaching
lot.
and training and putting things on and creating the challenge and running every month after month. It's a combination of work from different people that take time. I think some people believe that yeah, we just throw a data set and that's it.
Yeah. It's done.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
come
There
here
you
two
go.
times a
That's
month,
it.
right? For the
There you
workshop, for the
go.
top five,
That's
and we're
it.
done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on, guys.
All right. So, yeah, for those of you, top five. So, what we're going to do is go through the top five. The most important thing is, of course, these reports are going to be in completely random order. Otherwise, it would be just weird to, go through the five and be like, so the winner is the first report that you saw. So, no, these are going to be in random orders. We're going to be going through them. And the first report that has gotten itself into the top five. So, if we can change the screens, there we go. So, Akulesh, congratulations in getting to the top five. So let's quickly open up the report and take a closer look at it. Yeah, Tony, Federico, who wants to go first?
Okay. Um, Tony, you want to go first or come on? Just jump
Sure.
in the pool.
Let's do this. Yeah, so overall, I really for myself, I love the color scheme. So that I I don't know why grays and blues are like my kind of go-to colors. So I do really enjoy that. I think that a lot of time kind of went into those pieces. So fantastic. I and again the KPIs at the top. Love that they're kind of consistent and the same. And for me, a part of it too is a lot of the look and feel. So the overall kind of uniformity looks fantastic. So great job on that. If I could say a small improvement for myself, when you are determining where you're going to put your slicers for interactivity, I would suggest keeping that consistent as well. So, in my opinion, having the filter at the top for the select airport, and then as well on the left for the year, that has a little bit of a disconnect, I think, for how users are interacting with your report. So you could leverage the real estate either at the top or at the side. I would probably stick with the side because that's where you're making changes. So if all of your navigation pieces are on the side pane, then do that, and then maybe take those um, the filter and icon buttons and move those up to the top kind of right of the page and make them a bit smaller, right? So kind of direct people to say you're going to be doing interactivity pieces kind of here, and then extra information potentially is up top on the right, that type of a thing. But all in all, I feel like that's probably my biggest kind of right now as I'm remembering it. I do
Mhm.
have notes that I'm going to reference when Fed's talking so that I can jump back in because that's what I'm going to do, I'm sure. Um, that was my first kind of off the cuff. I do like the color, like like using color and highlights when you're on the nav pane. That's a
Mhm.
great call out. I get lost sometimes. That's why I love things like dynamic titles and stuff because I've made a selection and then I'm like, what did I do? So I love that you've done that so I know which page I'm on and that those are interactive pieces. So like well done. Um, yes. And then the second page, since I'm still talking, so I'm going to keep
All
going.
good.
I love the matrix with the heat kind of color map. I really enjoy that. I think for me, the only thing, and this could just be again a me thing and not necessarily, and this is something that if your end users say they want it, then go for it. But keeping consistent whether or not something is a percent, and if it's not, then just calling it out. Like I know it's a rate, and rate by default we think percent, but just call that out too. Like if you're not going to put percentages in there as part of it, then just maybe in a subtitle or something, call out that our values are shown in percentages or something like that, just to remind people of what kind of what they're looking at. That would be my only other kind of, like you've done it kind of in the delay rate where it's wrapped in percent. So keep that consistent across the report,
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, no
Yes, I
problem.
agree with Tony on the color play. I like that KPI cards. They're simple, they're beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
and when you select a year, they provide you with a percentage of previous year and so on. So well done on those little KPI cards. Probably one of my favorites visually is a KPI card. Okay, I don't know why you put the white background on that year filter. I think there should be also color. Kind of break a little bit the balance of color. And as Tony said, I would have played the filter on the top and perhaps the reset filter at the bottom on the left. I will also put it on the top or maybe on the corner right hand side. But that is just a personal opinion. I try to break it, I love to break the report by clicking everything and see what happened. And so far, you have done very well. Okay, we go to the second page.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing about this second page is if we look at the matrix and we check the darker colors, you cannot see the numbers in there.
Yeah.
Okay, we are talking about Airline January, for example, is too dark. That's fine, but I cannot see the numbers. Okay, but that is so diminutive. Okay, because at the same time, their color is telling me I am the biggest number. Okay, geographical analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, nothing more. I think it's a very well looked after, balanced report. Everything is properly aligned. And I love that, guys. I have OCD on alignment, um, big time. So congratulations, well done. It's a very good, excellent report.
From my side, I just want to do one quick shout out for one specific thing. Thank God you have actually done what we've been asking for a couple of months now in a row, that unless I select a year, you don't show a comparison. So just kudos to you for that. I'm happy for that part. Because you can see, guys, right here, right? Select the year. So as soon as I select, for example, 2024, that's when I get the comparisons. Otherwise, until a person has selected a year, there is going to be a DAC from DAX calculation. There is going to comparison of average, I think it's, or something like that. But you don't really understand where it's coming from. So you're guiding your users. And this kind of ties together with what Tony said. I would probably either put them here or have both slicers here, because that was my first thought, right? Select a year. Okay, where do I select it? And then I start to just hover over the whole report, try to find just left out slicer right here on the side somewhere. But other than that, I think it's a very good overall report. It's a great space, sort of. It's not too clustered, I would say. There's enough information and enough detail level as it is. So congratulations to you on getting into the top 5, and I guess we can move on to the next one, right? So let's
Yep.
get out of the full screen and let's go for the next one. So the next submission that has gotten into the top 5 comes from Zule. Congratulations, Zule.
It's too late.
So let's open it up. Let's open up the embedded view because it's just going to be a little bit bigger and easier to navigate. So for this one, Federico, if you don't mind, I want to go
Yes,
first. Yeah?
actually I love to go for this one.
Perfect.
And I met Suley about a year ago, kind of. She started coming into the group and creating reports. The change of reporting, the quality of the reporting is just amazing. Okay, so Sulay, on that alone, well done. It's unbelievable what a few challenges and practice and dedication can produce in a report. This report here on the screen is worth to be in any company being looked up by anything. It's as simple as that. That is a working ready report. considering, well, the client would like to do have that and that and the other, fine. But the quality of the developing, okay, is fantastic. I love the thing. One other thing I love is you go to the eye of the information here at the top. No,
Oh
on
yeah,
the
yep, 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 yep,
on
yep.
the that one. There you go. Because it say one of my problems is enter the name of the airline. I don't remember the airline. Sorry, which airline? And then she have that little. Okay, that Federico, that for you. Boom, boom, and she killed me and said, "Here, go to the information button, and there you have the airline. Remember one of them, or write it down on a piece of paper and put it down there." I think that is fantastic little point. Then we have four very well developed KPI cards, my favorite visual, and then the touches with the little icons and the shadows in the icon. I don't know if you can appreciate these little shadows. Eh? They are silliness, okay? But that the client love it. Remember, what you put to your client is what they're gonna buy. They're not gonna buy your fantastic data model. They're not gonna buy your DAX. They are not gonna buy your fabric expertise. They are gonna buy this, okay? And there are this little trick point actually that people say, I'm gonna stay 5 more minutes looking just at the report because it's really good looking. Apart from that, we go to the left hand down side, the line chart.
Yep.
She went through the trouble of green for positive, red for negative. She put two more lines, the maximum and the minimal value. The frame, okay, that line chart. We go a map, and we go to the other page, the second page,
Mm-hmm.
where another matrix, beautiful. In this case, you look at we are going to January, spread yet. Can you
Yeah.
see, in this one, you can see the number a little bit better. Okay, just by the grading one shadow that color, instead of going for the dark blue, white one shade up, it allow me to see better. I don't know what to say, but that's me. I don't like the left corner.
The scatter plot.
Yeah, caterpillar. I think that is my. I don't know. I got
It's
bad
your
feeling,
nemesis.
bad thinking about. Yeah, it's my nemesis. But it's well built. I'm not gonna make any issue. And then we have a table with a little. How do you call that? I forgot the name. The line
Sparkline.
chart. Spark line, correct? Perfect. And if you hover over some places, you also have a tooltip somewhere there.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay, simple and nothing too. Because one thing that I don't normally use tooltip. For me, it's a visual within a visual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but when you have to use it, okay, it needs to be simple. And don't put a lot of stuff on the tooltip because you have a visual within a lot of visuals. Okay, and I don't like that. Apart from that, I got no complaints about this one. I love it so much. And I think she's listening to me and I cannot break it. Well, yeah, I can break it. Click on the matrix.
Yeah.
And then,
This one, yeah.
there you go. So, like, remember, we check how filter. How, if I click here, what happened? If I click here, what happened? If I click here, what happened? Okay? But that is another level. So like that is another level. That is for people that have taken a lot of time and make a lot of this mistake. For little by little making sure everything is checked. At the same time, if you actually stop interaction, you have no filtering at all. That is another problem. When you have to use the edit interaction too much, there is no interaction at all. My final point, so like from day one to today, wow, wow, we're done. Keep going. That's me.
All right. From my side, yeah, like Federico said, we just love to break stuff. It's just what we're good at. So yeah, one thing that you always try to do is just play around with your visuals. I know as a developer, one of the things that we do is it looks good, probably works good. It most likely doesn't do that. Most of the time, you need to double check everything, how things are getting cross filtered and everything. Because one of the things that whilst I was playing around, I didn't see it at first. But for example, since these are set, right? What happens is if I filter out JetBlue Airways, and for example, Hawaiian Airlines is not included in it, that also kind of contradicts and in some cases breaks the report. So it's just cross filtering, double check that, but it's a minor issue that you can see it's starting to break down. But that's all fine. These things can be found out. The user is probably going to find, and even if he doesn't see it, he's going to tell you these small little things that you need to take into account. The one thing that I really appreciate, and this is what Tony said as well, this is why you have these little dynamic titles. So, for example, if I select a month, I know exactly which one has been selected, which year has been selected. I do the same thing for an airline. I can see that instead of all airlines, it's going to now anyway. So you're guiding your user and telling him what am I currently looking at, right? So all these little details I definitely appreciated. The one thing that I would definitely kind of play around with a bit or take a bit closer to look into is the navigation panel itself. Two things. One, separate the navigational items from the sort of additional information items. So in this case, clear filters, or if you want to apply another filter or the information layer, I'd say these are additional items, whereas this is the actual navigation for the report. So you want to kind of separate it so the user understands exactly, because not everything is the same importance, right? One's navigation, one's additional items. The other thing for the navigation is create a highlight for the page that you are on currently. I get it that we have the tooltip. I can read what the page is going to do and where it takes me. Thanks for that, because sometimes people don't even do this and I just go blank, right? But I also want to know where am I currently. So just keeping, for example, the highlighted color on that page would help me understand, okay, this is the page where I'm currently at. But these are very small, quick fixes you can easily fix in, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. So that's not a big issue. But the one thing that I wanted to point out here is Federico actually usually notices it, but I think he missed us this time. The consistency of color, guys. Red,
Mm.
red, red. Those are three different shades of red. Same goes for green. Green, green, and that's green as well. If you want to keep it red and green, keep the same color everywhere. The reason for this is because otherwise people are just trying to kind of understand. So, does this mean this is with a higher importance, or is the result, higher than abnormal, or is there a reason why these colors are different? And if you're just gonna tell them, oh no, it's just, I forgot about it. Well, you don't do that. So keep very close eye just on the hex code. Usually the best way on how you can approach colors is whenever you decide that there is going to be a green and red, just use the same hex color. Don't use a color name, because the color name might be represented differently also in different environments. Different browsers might differently shade the color red when you name it red, right? So hex color is the best approach. Or RGBA, but hex is just more commonly used.
I actually put them in a sticky note, so I keep them. Because sometimes you start looking for the
Yeah, yeah,
right
I get
color
it.
and you have to go back to another visual to get the hash code. So I got a little tech
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
have these colors and I copy and paste if I need to, because it happened that you have to pick it up by hand or you don't want to go back to the other visual and they happen. So it's a good point actually to make sure you have the same colors and put it write it down wherever you want to, because you will need it.
Yeah. I'm usually a very simple man, right? So what I usually do is I just take a screenshot of something and I open up Paint, paste it in, and just use the color picker. And that's how I get my colors. You could use some online upload tool as well, but sometimes less is more. Especially if you just need the hex color code. You don't need to create a full screenshot, upload it somewhere. Paint does the job as good as well. If you use Figma or anything else, do whatever you're used to, but just make sure that you get the hex color and apply it. But like I said, these are changes that what takes you like 1-2 minutes. That's not a deal breaker. These can easily be fixed. A little bit of a tooltip as well. So that's an interesting approach as well, just to kind of showcase additional information because you're telling me the top, but now you're focusing on one specific aspect of it. So I like that part. For the map visual, what would have probably done is use a bit of conditional formatting. And the reason why I would probably do this is because currently, since you have shapes for every single country in the world, if I select a country that doesn't have anything, well, of course it's going to break because there's nothing to return in result, right? So with a little bit of conditional formatting, I would just say that, if the shape doesn't have any color, just keep it blank or transparent. So to kind of focus on what's important in the areas that actually have the data. Uh, Probably a slight misalignment. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we can see the rounded corners, and I think that's the original position. So again, very small little DC, and
Yeah,
a small little corner right here.
what is that? Yes, I've been looking at that for the moment you put it in. I cannot see how that happened.
I think
But yeah,
I
it's
think
a little.
Zula had an image as a background, and she was just
Yeah,
overlaying the visuals on top of it, and it's just a misalignment at the end at some point. But again, those are very quick fixes. Like Federico said, I love this little detail that you actually showcase the values to the user. Because the first thing that I noticed as well here, enter an airline name. The first thought that I had, because one thing that I can tell you guys, I absolutely hate search visuals because they don't give you anything, right? Because what it leaves me with, right? So I'm gonna go like, A, there's nothing. Cool. Press enter. Break report. Not great. Go back.
yeah, yeah.
But that little arrow made me curious, so I started to look around. I was like, "Oh, okay, that could actually work." So that's
That's
definitely a
genius.
good
I
approach.
love it. That idea. I love it. Actually, I think I'm gonna. Like I'm gonna copy your idea. That clear.
That's definitely a good approach. But yeah, overall, I think the design is very well made. It uses space efficiently. The cards, which are usually one of the most important things, are very noticeable. You have a lot of comparisons over time and so forth. So that's all good. Regarding the other pages, I think the overall situation is very similar. I like it. The matrix table, what already Federico mentioned, and Tony, maybe regarding the little colors, right? Just slight adjustments and a little bit of gradient. Because remember, you don't necessarily always have to apply just one rule. You could also play around slightly with, for example, the font colors as well. And if you know that one of your numbers is going to be very close to the color where, for example, the highlight is, if that's going to be the maximum color, maybe change the font color to white, just to kind of highlight it even more, for example. So you can play around with these. What else? So here as well, you kind of change the style, but still overall position. And I like the fact that these are essentially switchers also for they work as parameters, right? So you can change out for one parameter or the other. So that's all good for me. I don't know, Tony. Anything that you wanted to definitely add from your side, or
Oh no, I think you guys did a great job of covering that. But maybe my only kind of suggestion with the dynamic title would be to just again keep it consistent. So on the overview page, you don't have that, but I'm still able to
mm,
apply filters. So
mhm,
I think that would be, and like having the updated date, which sometimes it's absolutely important. Clients need to know when the data was not necessarily refreshed in service, but refreshed from source. So it is an important kind of feature to have. But I might have potentially added that to the title somewhere else. But I think keeping that subtitle or sorry, dynamic title consistent would have been a piece that I would have just suggested. But yeah, all in all, I think it was great. I don't remember the pop out filter for this report, and this
yeah,
might not be. So you're able to select the airport here as well, and then the airline. Okay.
mhm.
Yep. Yeah, just couldn't remember. Sorry, I had to see if I could jog my memory of something, but that is fine. And I do like the pop-out filter pane still. I know some people don't, but I feel like there are use cases for it if you don't have real estate on the page. And
Yeah,
this was a unique way to do it. I did enjoy the additional details to that kind of ring note thing. I thought that was quite clever. So
Because the one thing you guys have to remember, right? This is not like everything you can possibly do. People are just experimenting also with
Yeah.
different setups, different ideas, and how it looks, how it feels, and everything. Because the only thing that I would say about this one, right? Sure, you can discuss whether you like these approaches or not, but the only thing that I noticed, I remember now when I opened it up, is that this is all squared. Everything else is rounded with rounded corners. But again, those are very small, quick fixes that you can easily do. So again, congratulations, Ula, on getting to
Yeah.
the top
Well,
5.
Yeah. Good job.
Let's go to the next one. So the next report that has gotten itself into the top 5 comes from Chidera. Congratulations. So let's open up the report and take a closer look at it. Tony, you want to go ahead and go through this one first?
Sure. Yeah. And congrats on this entry because I think she has done a couple for FP20 and has done amazing work. And this one, when I first saw it, I was like, ooh. So first off the bat, this is just again a personal preference. I think it looks lovely, and I like the colors, but I will say that red is a very bold choice and can get you into trouble. But I do like parts of it. But what I will go into is what doesn't maybe work with the red. But otherwise, I was like, if you're going to take a chance, take a chance. And you know what? Sometimes companies do have red as their branding, and if they are happy with that and what you want to work with that, then fill your boots. This is a good execution of that with balancing it out with like the lighter kind of red that almost tinges on gray. Like I really like how she made it work, I guess, is so kudos to that. The one of the things I want to call out, and this was just something that she knows the story, so I won't go into it. But what what she did well, and I wanted to call out, is in the trend indicators. So a big part of the conditional color formatting, I think people think, oh, something's gone up, it's green. But when we think about delays, if delays have gone up, that's not a good thing. That should be categorized as red, and that's what she's done here. Whether or not the sentiment colors in this case I find are hard to read because of the red on red, so that would be my only kind of caveat to the red is just find a different color that could work for your sentiment colors. But well done. That's understanding what the data is saying and interpreting that, and then again bringing it back to. So the only thing I suggested to her, and this could be embedded in one of like like an overlay or a tooltip or something, is for those of us that forget that that's important, that that the sentiment should be different depending, is just to call it out. I have done this in finance situations where it's like a small group of finance people, and I don't need to put that in a tooltip anywhere because they understand what's happening with that. But if it is a broader based audience, that might be like, oh, this doesn't look right, but it is right. So congratulations on doing that. I think that was a fantastic effort, for sure. The again, with the page navigations, is kind of something that I saw again with this report, is just when I'm on that page, just continue to have that highlighted for me as an end user so that I know where I am. So I'm on this page, but I don't know that I'm kind of on this page. So you need just to have that kind of that difference in color or highlight or whatever, just to indicate that we're on a different page.
Mhm.
And then I do love the slicers for at the top, like that are for like on time, diverted, canceled. So that kind of use of, I didn't see the underlying, but if she used field parameters or something like that, whatever the case may be, to kind of allow us to, that's a great use case for that. I love field parameters, and I love being able for everything to change when I click one button. The, I guess, small thing, I hate nitpicking when things are done well, but everything changes except for the one visual, and I understand why it doesn't change. But I think Gustav does this the best, is really to let people know if something's going to change or not. Like, so again, that I shouldn't expect something to change, so let me know it's not. So maybe this visual is not affected by slicers or something like that, just so I know that the report is functioning as expected.
Mhm.
That would be kind of something that I thought of kind of at the I feel like those are the couple of things I want to call out. So, something might come back to me and maybe filters. I guess this is another thing too. I like to be able to drive my experience too. So, not having the option to select an airport or select that. is something you're like not enabling me to do, and I feel like I'm missing out on something. So that would be the only thing. Now, some people, I love cross filtering. I think it works well, but in a situation where potentially maybe they don't want to cross filter for whatever reason, just allowing the end user that option to filter the entire page to something, I think is a nice value add. But again, it's a easy to interact report from what I found. Again, I love the heat map matrix. Well done. But to Federico's point, just make sure that the colors aren't too dark so you can still see the numbers underneath it. Would be a good one. But I think that's all. I think that's all I had for this one. Yeah.
Federico?
I recently have a fight. No, a fight. I didn't fight. An argument in LinkedIn about using red color. Okay, and I disagree. I disagree because if the brand is in red, like ZoomCharts, what happened? You cannot use it at all. Okay, so and also agree with Tony that people tend to red is bad. Okay, well, I don't know. If I give my wife a red rose, do you think she will hit me in the face or will give me a kiss?
I
It's
guess
very
it depends on the
situational.
day.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we need to actually probably she give me a slap on the face anyway, but we need to understand the context of that red color. Yeah, I think it's very
Agreed.
important that we put
Yeah.
everything into context. Another thing that I would like to say that but yes, it is another ambassador for FP20 Analytics, and I remember her first challenge, and I remember his progress in this one. And in the previous challenge, I mentioned to her in our private chat, do this, okay? And she actually had done it, okay? So she is taking advice. Not only that, she was able to create a background template in Figma and then create a lesson in LinkedIn for people to learn how to do a background in Figma. That is not only just I'm doing that, I also letting you people know how I did it. Okay. I like the combination of red and black. That black line chart is actually really, I will take it for a dance. It cool dance. Okay, I think that combination fantastic. Then she used the second red in the KPI card.
Hmm.
Okay, that actually bring up these white numbers. It's telling me, hello, I'm 997,120. Okay, with no mistakes. I'm gonna say the same, Antonio, and we mentioned the preview challenge before that you need to let me know in what page I am. Okay, so and that is just simply changing the color of the icon. Nothing done. I also agree with Tony. Well, I would like to have a couple of filters on the airlines and maybe A%, I don't know. And you can use, it's a bit controversial about filtering because you can use the typical drop down on the lead chart, or you can use a visual, okay, to do the changes, okay, what we call cross filtering. And I prefer to have a little line with filters, okay, on my filters. Remembering all the time that if I have a filter and then I have a chart, I have to disconnect them because now it will be only one data point. Okay, let's go to that monthly flight direction. I don't know if I would have done that round the corner there. David, point
Which
to
one?
the middle one, the last one. No, the stack. No, you.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That, wake up. Where are you?
yeah. Yep. Okay.
That one. You think you got the black and then you have the pink. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I most probably would have done a straight line or a less curve line. And the top pink columns look like X to me. Sorry. Okay. Um, let's go to the second page.
Hmm.
I don't know why mine doesn't move. Okay, I got it there with you.
Because
I
it's
don't know.
the home page and the second page is the third page or the
All
third
right, okay.
navigation item.
That's true. So that way it's not moving. Okay, I love the matrix. I don't like double line in the headers. Okay, and you have the aircraft delay and below the percentage. I understand that you need the space. Perhaps I would have tried to find how to shortcut of those names, because you then make it longer. And the matrix it works well, but it doesn't work as well, and they are smaller and closer to each other. Okay, but there are little trick without any personal things. Apart from that, I have nothing more to say. Excellent work, well done. Keep growing.
Yeah, I'd say probably just delete delay because we all know it's delay reasons. So aircraft carriers says just
Yeah,
keep it simple.
Yeah, or
Um,
you could do like this, the KPI cards where you had just in the title, just put
yeah,
percentage
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end of your title, right? Just take out the percentage
and
completely. Yeah.
and then she has some between brackets, another no in brackets. Is that meaning anything? Go back.
yeah.
You look
That's
the
fine.
two right
Yeah,
column. It goes this between brackets. That probably she forgot, but that is more detailed. But that is more detailed. Guys, you're gonna have to change it back. Nobody is gonna tell you anything. Nobody is gonna. But you're gonna have to go back. Okay. And if you are presenting to the client, they're going to tell you that, like, oh, okay, that is changing in 2 minutes, okay, no problem. But they actually point it out to you. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah. There's always going to be nitpicking. Just get used to it. There's
yeah,
always going to be something that they want to improve. Your job is to find the line where you're going to be say like, no, we don't really want to do this, and then you explain for example why we don't want to do this. The only thing that I wanted to quickly point out here is and kind of remind everyone, guys, check your numbers, right? Because this is the main thing that I saw when I first opened it up. The first thing you're telling me to look at is the KPIs, right? That's the first thing that I'm looking at. Cool. We have about a million flights. We have about 9,000 canceled flight with a cancellation rate of 96%. Um, unless I'm completely wrong, it just doesn't add up.
Right. Yep.
yeah,
So it should be like three point something. It seems like, right? But again, it's just a calculation that you can easily fix. But remember, guys, just take a quick look at the numbers, right? If it seems that it doesn't make sense, just go ahead and recheck everything. Trust me, it's not the first time, not the last time. Trust me, even we do it sometimes from time to time. It's just you kind of get into a moment, show it to your card, and be like, "Well, that doesn't seem right." It's
Been
normal.
looking at it for so long, you're like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it looks
Yeah, it
right.
still seems fine. That's a percentage goal. Let's go.
And
yeah. I think perhaps in the major she put around the wrong nominator and denominator, because
Pretty much, yeah. It seems like
if
it.
you say minus that measure, it will give you the 3 something% we are looking for.
Yeah, just or if you're just super lazy, just add okay -1. So you're gonna be
Yeah,
minusing them
there you
100%.
go.
There's always a way, trust me. And the other thing is, again, the same regarding the numbers is, for example, flight volume. If you look at the map, right? If we have a million flights in total, how can I have 4 million flights on over this region? So it seems like there's some summarization happening that wasn't supposed to happen. But again, this is just taking a closer look at the visual, playing around with them. These things can be easily fixed, so you don't have to worry about it. Other than that, again, good choice of color. I love it. My company approves. That's all good. But yeah, other than that, congratulations in getting to the top five. Let's move on to the next one. So
Yeah,
the next submission that has gotten into the top five comes from Ugan Chogu. So congratulations to you. Let's open it up and take a closer look at it. I had it open right here. There we go. So, uh, from my side, the one thing that I can definitely say is, again, I appreciate this part that you're not comparing anything unless I have selected, for example, 2024, because then it makes sense. Uh, but this one still was kind of left out. You're comparing versus the current month. My question is, what is the current month? This one was done properly. This one's still saying that it's comparing against something. Which month am I currently selecting? Is it the last one, the first one, the May, June, April? What is it? So Just pay attention to this. But trust me, you're not the first one, not the last one who's going to do this. Even I do it sometimes when I just forget about things. I like the switch that you can easily utilize the same space for different views. I love visual switches. I think it's one of the benefits why you need to learn bookmarks in general. Bookmarks are an amazing tool that allow you to utilize space a lot more efficiently, and they're very powerful. It's just that they can be very tricky and annoying from time to time. It's kind of comes with the turf. But the other thing that I noticed whilst I was playing around with this is whenever you are doing navigational items, switches, or anything, there's one thing that you always need to take into account, and that is the layer ordering. Why I'm saying this: if I go from top to bottom, right? You can see me going from top to bottom. I can switch between the views, all good. If I now decide that, okay, I'm going to be on the map, and I just click on the map, because now the map is the item that's in the front, I can no longer interact with these items, see? Because the other item gets brought into front of it. So this is why you always want to make sure that the layer ordering has been properly set. Under the general options, there's actually a toggle, maintain layer order. There's a toggle there that you can always check if it's enabled or not. If not, then there's one foul-proof situation, or let's say solution, that you can utilize. Just make sure that the visual is lower than the items. If you don't want to mess around with layer ordering, make sure that the visual is just lower than these items. That's it. But I actually kind of like this. I know there's probably going to be different opinions about this, but I like the quick stats option. The only thing that I would probably add is add some numbers to it, right? Like for example, if SkyWest was the carrier with the most delays, how many?
How many? Yeah.
Just a
Yep.
quick little number right next to it, because you did it right here, right? It seems like carrier. You had 17,000 delays. Cool. Why don't I have the same number here somewhere? But other than that, I really like the approach. The year switches, that's all good. The info button, that's all good. And I actually like really the style of this. It kind of fits very nicely into it. You have defined the highlight for the page that I am on. That's cool. You have even played around with different styling options for the hover effect, the actual default state. So that's commendable. Not a lot of people pay attention to this. The map, sorry, not the map, but the timeline. You have the KPI cards which you can switch about, which is basically field parameters. The only thing that I don't know if Federico noticed this or not, but every single time you go to the next card, like this is fine, right? This is gonna have like a pixel in between. This is gonna have 2 pixels, 3 pixels, 4 pixels. With every single next selection, you just go further, further, further away a little bit. So that
Mm.
might have been just alignment, but 90% of the people are not going to notice it, but trust me, that 1% or 10% of people who are going to notice it, they can find a way to break it. There's always that 1%. Luckily for me, we have not a developer, but a designer who also always notices these things, and he's just nitpicking all my reports. He goes, nah, that's 1 pixel to the right, that's 2 pixels to the left. This shade of red doesn't really work, so, and this doesn't okay, sure, just give me the full list of things I need to fix.
Shut up. Shut up. No, no, I totally agree with that. And I'm quite picky with that at work because you notice, okay, for me to notice you, it will be more complex because you notice things. By
Yeah,
my work, I notice very obvious, and every time it's nice, no, aligned properly. Where? And everybody is looking at, they cannot see it. There, it's obvious.
right? Are you
They
blind?
can, are you blind? They cannot see it. But I think it's important for people, have a look, play with it. We have mentioned it how many times. When I finish my report and I think it's ready for publishing, stop. Go to your wife, your girlfriend, your children, whoever, your friend, bring it home. Shut out. Tell me everything you see is okay. Press wherever you want to press. Okay.
Yep.
And when they have done that, and they say, okay, now it's bulletproof, bring it up. But you have to double check.
Oh, absolutely. And the last thing that I just noticed is everything is done well here except this one number. It doesn't have a bold. The only reason, trust me, the only reason why I'm starting to notice this is because I've been nitpicked so many times about this stuff that I start to notice this stuff. Before that, I would just been like, nah, looks fine, let's go. But yeah, overall, I really like it. It's very simple. That's the one thing that I like about it. It's not overly complicated. There's not a lot of different visuals trying to just different the detailed information, a lot of tooltips and everything. No, it's very simple, bare to the bone, showcasing KPIs, showcasing different dimensions that you can cross filter information for. So it just works. So that's highly appreciated from my side as well. Uh, I
Okay.
don't know,
Yeah.
Federico. Any additional comments from your side?
I think we have, because we have been chatting about everything is in the report.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we are done. We can move on to the next one. And
Next
I
one.
think, again, fantastic report.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go to the last one. So the last submission that has gotten into the top 5 comes from Agbada. Congratulations. Let's open it up and take a closer look at it. Federico, you want to take the first approach at this?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that the first chart, the column chart with the line chart, that image at the moment, at this very moment, the image is okay. It's not actually bothering, okay, the chart, okay. But if you start playing with it, you see that this column go down and the image take predominance,
Hmm.
okay. And the important thing about my report is the column chart, not the airplane, okay. I personally opinion I put an aircraft in the main page, but I will not use it as a background, okay, in a report or on top of visuals. But that look over there like that, it is okay. But you start playing with it. I was playing a little bit because Akbata won last challenge, and he's one of our best groupies, I say as a joke. And I play a little bit around with it. I will have put that image in there. That's me, Akbata, and I'm telling you that it's not bad, okay? But that's personal um, liking. Go to delay factor.
The factor, yep.
Yeah, there you go. Here the image is more predominant, and then you have this long in the middle of the November
Hmm.
coming out to the image that kind of break the image, kind of break the line. That is my little thing. I I like the how he picked color palette. Okay, advertise always bring some different color palette. It might be on your liking, or it might not be on your liking, but it played well with his report. Okay, got this brown in the. We are in the delay factor.
Yep.
That brown in there in that donut shot that is massive. Click on it. Yes, and then the pin go down. Okay, the slice, and I kind of like that in a funny way, in a dodgy way, I will say. Kind of, I like you. Okay, I don't know why. And then we have this white, pinky, gray, white on the right on the bar
Hmm.
chart. I don't know how he played, but it doesn't break the report neither. So, but I know you like colors, okay, but you need to try to find a little bit harmony. It's too many colors, it's also too much. And then we have the year again. The year here at the bottom, I will put it at the top. You go airline the analysis, you go room in there to place it by the title, or bring it down a little bit the other one, better than down. Apart from that, and I'm talking about more than anything, go to the overview and we go back. Look at that purple in the map. He plays well with the color. I'm not actually complaining. Sometimes he gets too much color in it. He get a little bit funny and crazy. I'm gonna put that in here. Okay, but that purple in that black is fantastic. I
Yeah.
got no issue at all. So an excellent report again for Akbata, one of our most senior participants. And he's back again in the top 5. So congratulations and well done. Akbata, Tony, up to you, I think.
Yep, and I am conscientious of time, but I do have a couple of things. One, I want to say fantastic job on, I think, picking out kind of some of the questions that we asked you to answer in this data set. So well done. Like, I think you did a great job of isolating those and then answering them. The I will say with the year filter, I I think it's a bad choice to use a search filter because you don't know which years I have available in the data set. So you're going to keep the end user guessing. All in all, I think there are, I, the concept of the search is fantastic, but because in the back end it uses contains, you don't actually know what you're going to get a lot of the time. So I just want to put out like a caveat for that. When I have used it for clients, it's usually something super specific like item ID. So it could be, 10, 12 characters long, and it's going to search for that thing. It works fantastic because you don't want to be typing in a 12-digit item ID number or searching for that because there's thousands or potentially millions of them. So be mindful of that. They're very cool looking, but they're not super functional. So definitely a drop down or even a tile would have worked better in this kind of situation. So just be mindful of that going forward. I do love your navigation pane. Love that you go through the colors. I also really like that you have two different informations. I kind of dig that. Like you've got
Hmm.
this as like an overview, but you also have, hey, so I think of this as an about page for Power BI users that aren't like they don't understand maybe how you hover, you can get information. Fantastic. But then you've also added details about the data. So really well done. I love that. I think to the colors, back to the colors, again, keeping it consistent, so there's different colors of reds being used, that type of thing. So keep that part consistent. So your drops in your map are a little bit different color than your red in the left-hand side. So I would be kind of cognizant of that. Also, you've restricted me from seeing a lot, I think, of, and I could be wrong, but I feel like I can only see the airlines that you've allowed me to see. So I think a lot of stuff is top 5 or yeah,
Hmm.
right? So I don't have that option to see more than what you're presenting to me. So I think there are places where that's an important thing to guide the story, but then you also have to get to a point where as an end user, I want to tell my own story. So being able to dig into that and find that analysis that works for me is an important kind of part of that. But all in all, I think it still was well done. You answered the questions that we asked of you, and then to Federico's point, you kind of went above and beyond on a couple of the other additional features. So good job. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Well done.
Well,
All right.
the,
Alexandra, can you quickly hide my screen so I can open
it's
up
the moment of truth. Can I do the drums?
the drunks? Yeah, you can do.
Okay, you can't, Tony, you can accompany me, okay?
I was doing air drums, but yes, I can do the motion.
All right, guys, it's ready up. Alexandra, you can open it up. So, the winner of this month's challenge is Zulay Vivas. Congratulations. Woo!
Well done, Sulai. I think that, Sulai, because I really believe that you have improved greatly. We have another report that you created about 9 months ago. I want you to guys and you
Yeah,
to share these two and to see the difference.
yeah, that's
Okay,
amazing.
so it's not only a congratulation on winning the challenge; it's how far you have come just by participating in challenges and doing your little bit your studies and your stuff. But look at the difference between a fair report and
Congratulations.
guys. Remember that we FP20 Analytics we tell you our winners after this webinar in LinkedIn. Be ready because there are more winners and more prizes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, this is just for the mini challenge.
that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to everyone. Thanks
Yeah,
for joining and participating. And remember, guys, the fact that you just, for example, didn't get into the top 5 doesn't mean that you had a bad report. No, it's just
no,
that this month we chose these 5 as the ones that we like the most. And if you don't succeed at first, well, try again. As you can see from Zulai, for example, one of her reports is from April last year, and now we're in February this year. So there's a lot of months in between, so she didn't give up. So, congratulations to you once again. Congratulations to everybody who did participate. You're a winner
Sorry,
in a different
I,
way. Yeah, go ahead, Federico.
Alex sent me a note. Question about Sulai report. Could you comment on filters? I don't see many filters in her report.
I
Is
think it was
he?
regarding these ones, probably, like the filter
Okay.
panel.
All right. Okay.
I mean, we
Okay.
briefly covered it. I'd say it wasn't the best approach, but it kind of works for this one, right? Because one thing that I would probably do not have is, for example, like month switchers where I have
Hmm.
to go between the months. I would have a drop down or something just so it's more conveniently approachable here. And but other than that,
I think the only other thing too for filters that, and I might have noticed it on this one, but other ones, but something to keep in mind as you're building reports is to ensure if I'm selecting an airport, sorry, for Seattle, that airlines don't show up that didn't fly into Seattle, because I don't want to have to then try to pick one and then my report goes blank. So just be mindful of that kind of interactivity between your filters when you're building that. So, and that's just a general statement for everybody. We all do it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons actually why I you don't I know the reason behind, for example, apply all slicers simultaneously, because
Hmm.
it's one query, it speeds up the process, but at the
Yeah.
same time it's so prone to error that I usually
Yes.
tend to stay away from it.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
But
And I,
certain situations call for certain solutions, so that's all fine.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, guys.
and I would
Thank
like
you so
to,
much for your time and your attention. I hope you have an amazing day, evening, morning, whichever part of the world you're on currently.
Yes.
And
Morning.
we'll see you in
bye
the next one.
bye.
All right.
Bye.
Good one. See you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.